Kyrie Irving, NBA All-Star, a basketball MVP and champion. Fans flock to him and are always curious to know what he will say or do next. But what some don't know is that Kyrie has a major heart for giving back to the community.
So Kyrie Irving is one of the premier NBA All-Stars. He plays at the highest level of the game. And what's exciting to me is that the Kyrie Irvings and so many athletes that are present in professional sports playing at the elite level, they don't have the model of consumerism and materialism like so many athletes in the past. Their first impulse is to think about how they can use their platforms to empower people.
And that's what Kyrie Irving is currently doing by creating Kai 11 Consulting, where he invests into businesses that might not have a chance otherwise. Marcus Glover of Lockstep Ventures and Kyrie joined forces to give $500,000 to an up-and-coming trucking company called Fleeting, making trucking Kyrie's very first industry to invest in with Kai 11.
When I first introduced Kyrie Irving to Fleeting, he immediately got excited in ways that surprised me. He had an immediate interest in trucking. It may or may not be known that Kyrie Irving actually owns 3 rigs of his own.
Yes, you heard him right. Kyrie owns 3 semis of his own, and the reason he purchased these rigs has a lot to do with the global pandemic.
He just bought them and actually didn't even know what to do with them, but is so excited about trucking. And when we first met, his interest was in figuring out how to support Black farmers who were trying to get produce to market. And so that began his interest to learn more about trucking and why he bought trucks of his own.
And this initial interest of Kyrie's into the trucking industry ultimately led he and Marcus to invest in Pierre Laguerre's company, Fleeting. Fleeting is a commercial trucking and fleet management service trucking company, but it's way more than that. Fleeting goes above and beyond by helping to train formerly incarcerated men and women into the trucking industry. It also gives all truck drivers the tools and education needed to be an entrepreneur for their own trucking business.
So when we first introduced Pierre and Fleeting to him, he immediately committed and said, this is exactly what I've been researching and this is exactly what I want to do. So it really speaks to the quality of elite athletes. Some of their ambition off of the court and off the field is probably greater than their on-court success.
And that success has led right to Fleeting. The company provides numerous incentives to drivers, such as flexible hours, so they have more time with their families. Drivers also have the freedom to control their schedules, and it lets other drivers drive without having their own truck. But it wasn't the company itself that sold Kyrie and Marcus. It was actually the CEO, Pierre, himself.
The expression is, don't bet on the horse, bet on the jockey. Typically, people will analyze the horse, see how fast it is, see how many races the horse will have won. But there are investors like me who are more interested in the jockey. If all horses are comparatively equal, then oftentimes it's the jockey that's the difference maker. Here was a young man who rose up through the ranks of trucking. And so he had hands-on time behind the wheel. That means a lot. He can walk into a conference room, and while he'll start out the most silent person in the room, it won't take him long before he has a marker and a whiteboard, and he is explaining in graphs and in charts the world of trucking. So again, you don't bet on the horse, you bet on the jockey. When you meet a Pierre who has the resilience, the ambition, the education of advanced tech and advanced business, that is someone with a unique skill set that you want to back.